So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover that day's newspaper or a particular day's newspaper in a very short span of time within 20 minutes. Now, the newspaper or the current affairs we are going to be covering in this particular lecture are from September 20th, 2024. And the important topics, important from the perspective of civil services examination, mind you. So the important topics that featured in that day's newspaper are as following. So let's take a look at the topics of the day that we are going to focus our attention on in this lecture. So in total, we are going to be focusing on 4 topics. All right. And these 4 topics are as following. So number 1 is Financial Action Task Force Report on India, FATF's report on India. So it has put India in a certain category. It has pointed out certain flaws with India's anti-money laundering establishment. Plus, it has lauded India for certain achievements also. So we are going to talk about FATF. Okay. Then Union Home Minister and Minister for Cooperation, Amit Shah ji, has launched White Revolution 2.0. As you guys all know about White Revolution launched in 1970s, Operation Flood launched in 1970s to boost milk production in India. Now its second version called White Revolution 2.0 is going to be launched, which would further boost India's milk production. So we'll talk about this. Then, in New Delhi, World Food India 2024 was organized. It was an event which showcased India's food processing sector and the problems, the achievements of food processing sector in India. So basically, it wants to put India's food and food processing industry on the world map, on the world stage. Okay, so we'll talk about this. And in the end, we'll talk about Amur Falcon, a bird in Northeast. Okay, so we'll talk about these 4 issues. Let's start with issue number 1, which is FATF on India. So what was in the news basically? The Financial Action Task Force on Thursday placed India in the regular follow-up category for its compliance with anti-money laundering and counter-terror financing recommendations. Okay, now listen. FATF is a global organization, is an international organization that takes care of anti-money laundering regime in different countries, and the use of money laundering for terrorist financing or terror financing. So basically, FATF is tasked with stopping money laundering on an international scale, terror financing on an international scale, and also finance for weapons of mass destruction. So basically, FATF was established to combat these problems on the global stage. Okay. Now, it regularly comes out with reports, and it has put India in regular follow-up category. So basically, FATF puts countries in different categories, depending on the situation of anti-money laundering regime in that country. Okay. Now, the regular follow-up rating is currently shared by only 4 other G20 countries. UK has that rating, France has that rating, Italy has that rating. Russia used to have that rating, but after Russia-Ukraine war, Russia has been suspended from FATF. Okay. Now, India is put under this category, but most developing countries are put up in a lower category called enhanced follow-up category. Now, under enhanced follow-up category, it requires submission of compliance reports that the countries have to furnish reports regarding how they have complied with various recommendations of FATF. Now, these reports have to be published by countries in an enhanced follow-up category on an annual basis. Okay, so countries who are in enhanced follow-up category, they have to report to FATF on an annual basis, whereas those in regular follow-up category have to report once in 3 years. So India is placed in a better category. All right. So these are the major 2 categories. India is placed in a better category. And why India was placed in a better category? Because FATF says that India has done a lot to combat money laundering and terror financing. But in that report, FATF has also mentioned that India needs to do a lot. It has done a lot. It has achieved a lot, but it needs to do more to combat money laundering and terror financing. Okay. Now, what were the recommendations of FATF for India? We won't get into that because these were quite detailed recommendations, and I don't think questions are going to be asked from those recommendations because every now and then FATF's recommendations come. Okay. What is important for you guys as civil services aspirants is what is FATF. Okay. So we'll focus our attention on that. So FATF is a global money laundering and terror financing watchdog set up in 1989 out of G7 meeting of developed nations in Paris. So in 1989, G7 countries, mostly the developed countries, actually met and they decided to create an organization which would actually monitor money laundering and terror financing. Earlier, it was established just to monitor money laundering, but after 9/11 attacks, the mandate or the functions of FATF were enhanced and they included terror financing also. In 2012, the functions or the mandate of FATF was further enhanced to include financing for weapons of mass destruction as well. So currently, FATF has three areas to monitor: money laundering, terror financing, and financing for weapons of mass destruction, so that all countries do not get access to weapons of mass destruction because they are extremely destructive. Okay. Now, which is the highest decision making body for FATF? It is called FATF Plenary. It is the highest decision making body and it meets thrice every year. Now, about FATF, remember it was formed in 1989. It is a 39 member body. Out of 39 countries, out of 39 members, 37 are countries, including India. Okay. And two are regional organizations. Okay. European Commission is one, Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, is one. So 37 countries plus European Commission plus Gulf Cooperation Council adds up to 39. So it is a 39 member body. All right. And remember, it has three functions: monitor money laundering, terror financing, and weapons of mass destruction. All right. That's about it. That's all you need to know for as far as this topic is concerned. Now let's quickly shift to topic number 2, which is White Revolution 2.0. So Union Home Minister, who is also the Minister for Cooperation, Amit Shah, launched the Standard Operating Procedure, SOP, for White Revolution 2.0. Okay. The idea of White Revolution 2.0 revolved around cooperative societies, which were also the bedrock of Operation Flood. Look, White Revolution or Operation Flood, we'll talk about it. It was launched in 1970s under the leadership of Dr. Verghese Kurian, who is also known as the father of White Revolution. Okay. Now, White Revolution was launched to increase milk production in India. Okay. And it was thought that milk production in India can be enhanced or increased manifold if we get the support of cooperative societies. So basically, White Revolution became successful because the government actually focused on use of cooperative societies for enhancing milk production. All right. So White Revolution used cooperative societies for enhancing milk production. And the success of White Revolution is that many famous cooperative societies got formed after 1970s. One of them is the very famous Amur, right? Then there is Verka, Vita, Nandini in Karnataka. So there are many cooperative societies that were formed after 1970s White Revolution, which have played an instrumental role in increasing milk production in India. Now, learning from that White Revolution, we have launched White Revolution 2.0, in which again cooperative societies would be leveraged for increasing milk production in India further. Okay, White Revolution 2.0 focuses on four key areas. First of all, it focuses on using or empowering women for increasing milk production. So it will empower women farmers. Okay, high focus would be placed on that, women employment. Then focus would be on enhancing local milk production, then strengthening dairy infrastructure and boosting dairy exports. So these are the four focus areas, remember these four, for White Revolution 2.0. Now the target set for White Revolution 2.0 is that it wants to increase milk procurement by dairy cooperative societies. Remember, cooperative societies. So it wants to increase milk procurement, okay, buying of milk from farmers by these dairy cooperative societies by 50% in the next 5 years. So in the next 5 years, currently cooperative societies buy 660 lakh liters per day, okay, milk. In the next 5 years, we want to increase this from 660 lakh per day liters per day to 1,000 lakh liters per day. So around 50% increase. All right, this is the target of White Revolution 2.0. Now, White Revolution was also known as Operation Flood. So let's take a look at White Revolution 1.0 or Operation Flood. So let's call it White Revolution 1.0. So it was launched in 1970 by National Dairy Development Board and was launched under the leadership of Dr. Verghese Kurian. You can see him over here. He's also referred to as the father of White Revolution. He's responsible for making India a dairy giant. Now, it was a significant dairy development program implemented to enhance milk production and address the country's milk scarcity issues. Before 1970s, India was also a milk importer. But after 1970s, after the successful implementation of Operation Flood and White Revolution 1.0, India became a giant. India currently is the largest milk producer in the world. Okay, And this white revolution or Operation Flood actually used the cooperative society model for dairy industry. Okay, that's it. Now, what is the situation of milk production in India? Let's learn a few facts about that also. So, milk production in India. So, first of all, you need to remember this: India is the world's top milk producer. India produces the largest amount of milk in 1 year. But yield per cow or yield per cattle is not that high. Okay, average yield is, however, 8.55 kg per animal per day. Okay, 8.55 kg of milk per animal per day for crossbred animals or imported cattle. Okay, and 3.44 kg animal per day for Indian cattle, indigenous cattle. Okay, national per capita. What do we mean by per capita? Per person. So the availability of milk per person in India is 459 grams per day. Now this is higher than the global average, but lower than developed countries like Canada, USA, Australia, New Zealand, Western Europe. Okay, they have their milk consumption is quite high. Okay, but India's milk consumption per person is higher than global average. Okay, 459 grams per day. As per the Basic Animal Husbandry Statistics 2023, the top 5 milk producing states are, remember this. So the top 5 milk producing states in India are, number 1 is UP, then Rajasthan, then Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh. Almost 31.94 or 32% of total milk production comes from indigenous buffaloes, followed by 29.81 from crossbred cattle. Okay, dairy sector provides employment to 8.5 crore people, so it employs a lot of people, mostly women. 63% of the total milk produced comes to the market for sale and purchase. The rest, 37%, is kept by farmers for their own consumption, okay, for their own household needs. All right. So this is the status of milk production in India. And we're done with this second topic also. Now let's straight away jump to topic number 3, which is World Food India 2024. Now, this is the third edition of World Food India. Okay. Now, what is World Food India? It's an event organized frequently, periodically, with the objective of introducing the world to rich Indian food culture, as well as promoting investments in the food processing sector of India. So basically, the aim of the government is to make India's food or Indian dishes popular in the world. Plus, it wants to invite foreign investors to invest in food processing sector in India. With that purpose in mind, the first World Food India event was organized in 2017. Remember, World Food India event is organized by Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Okay. Then the second event was organized in 2023 because 2023 was also the International Year of Millets, and India also wanted to bring India's food processing industry on a global stage. Ministry of Food Processing organized second edition. 2024 will be the year when third edition of World Food India is going to be organized from 19th to 22nd September at Bharat Mandapam Pragati Maidan, New Delhi. All right. Now, what are the key highlights of this year's event, third World Food India event? So, first of all, the participants range from over 90 countries, 26 Indian states and UTs. Representatives from 18 central ministries and allied government bodies would be coming to this event. It will highlight India's role as the global powerhouse in food processing. Plus, in this event, a new competition has been launched known as Swad Sutra. Basically, it is a cooking competition, and the aim of the cooking competition is to showcase or display different cuisines, regional cuisines from different parts of the country. South Indian cuisine, Bengali cuisine, Punjabi cuisine, Rajasthani dishes. So for that, it is a competition called Swad Sutra. Okay, that's about it. And let's straight away jump to last topic of the day, topic number 4, Amur Falcon in Northeast. As Manipur's Tamenglong district gears up to welcome its winged guest, Amur Falcon, whose scientific name is Falco amurensis, the district administration imposed a ban on hunting, catching, killing, and selling the bird. Okay, now look, every year during this time, during September, October, and November, Amur falcon or birds like Amur falcon actually migrate from Siberia or North China. They migrate from these places to India and mostly in Northeast India. Okay, mostly in Northeast India, like the districts of Nagaland, like the Tamenglong district of Manipur. Okay, and as soon as the winters come, like the month of December or January comes, these birds then migrate from India to South Africa. southern and eastern Africa for winters. And then they migrate back to Siberia and North China, then India, then South Africa, and then so on and so forth. Now, currently, they are visiting India, okay? And that is why Manipur's district administration has banned hunting, catching, killing, or selling this bird, either for food or for trade. Generally, locals actually catch these birds. They have dishes named after these birds, so they catch these birds for food or they sell these birds. So district administration has currently banned all these events. Okay. Now in Northeast, especially in Manipur, this bird is locally known as Kahua puinia. Remember this part also. Now this ban by district administration has been imposed as per the provisions of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Okay. One more thing, because question might be asked from this. Every year, annually, Manipur administration, okay, organizes Amur Falcon Festival. And this Amur Falcon Festival is always around Tamenglong district only, because most of the Amur Falcons visit this place. So remember, every year there is this Amur Falcon Festival organized locally by Manipur administration. Okay. Now, what is important for you to know is, what is Amur Falcon? So it is basically a small raptor of the falcon family. Falcon, like eagles or vultures, these are the apex predators. They fly very high, they fly very fast also. So Amur falcon is one of those birds. Okay. Now it breeds in southeastern Siberia and northern China, like I mentioned before. Then, during the time between summers and winters, they migrate to India. And during winters, then they migrate from India to southern and eastern African coast. Now, as far as their conservation status is concerned, their population is not at all threatened. Their IUCN status is least concern. Generally, when we discuss animals, their IUCN status is either vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered, like that. But as far as Amur falcon is concerned, they are not that threatened. They are of least concern category in IUCN. But still, they face certain threats, like hunting and trapping for consumption and trade. Okay, and remember, they migrate to India during September, October, and November. Then they migrate to South Africa, Southern Africa for winters, and then they come back to Southern Siberia or North China during summers. And during that time, they also breed. Okay, that's about it. All right. With that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation, but it would add more value if you're regular and consistent with this lecture series. All right. By the way, I have mentioned that before also, but I'm going to mention that again. If you want to download the detailed notes for this lecture, whatever was discussed in this lecture, if you want to download that in a PDF file, you can download that PDF file from our Telegram channel. Okay. Now, where can you find our Telegram channel? Well, the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below. So go to the comment section, click on the link, go to our Telegram channel, follow our Telegram channel, and download the PDF for this lecture, as well as other lectures on our YouTube channel. Okay? All of those lectures have PDF files, and those PDF files are shared on Telegram channel. So make sure you check them out too. All right. On that note, I'll be signing off, and we'll see you next time with next day's current affairs. Thank you.